Alright, everybody. Type 1. If you have heard a reactionary say, facts don't care about your feelings, just drop that 1 in chat. They really like to say that, huh? They really do love to say it. So, oftentimes when I hear a reactionary say this, it's typically in response to things like trans people or something like that. Like, trans people changing their gender? I'm sorry, but if you were born a man, you're a man. Facts don't care about your feelings. Or, you know, Ben Shapiro kind of popularized that. So, the thing is, though, that conservatism, being a reactionary, stands in stark defiance of reality, in stark defiance of facts and of facts, just basically, yeah, just against reality. And oftentimes science will disprove or disagree with what reactionaries have to say or the rhetoric that reactionaries push. Give me a hypers if you have heard of the YouTube channel SciShow and or Crash Course. If you've heard of either of these two channels, yeah, okay, it seems like some of you guys know. So, SciShow is a really good fucking YouTube channel. Awesome YouTube channel. It's mostly run by, from what I can tell, Hank Green. He's one of the Vlog brothers, the two people who made VidCon. It's two brothers. It's Hank and I forget what the other brother's name is. I like Hank Green better. Hank Green is one of the two vlog brothers that made VidCon. You may also recognize him if you're in high school. You probably watch Crash Course videos for your classes, for homework and stuff like that. He's the guy in those videos for the most part. It's him. He also does another YouTube channel called SciShow. And just today, SciShow put out an awesome video. It's a great video. I watched it last night. It is called There Are More Than Two Human Sexes. It's only about 12 hours old. Look at that like to dislike ratio. Now, thankfully, the likes have gone up. But when I first watched it and dropped my like, it was about 16k upvotes to 15k downvotes. The Chuds dislike bombed this shit like crazy. This triggered them so much. Now, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to this video in chat because you want to save it for later. It's a really good video. It's 13 minutes long, and it goes into deep detail about the biologist's current understanding of sex. He goes on to explain that sex is a bimodal distribution in the form of a spectrum, rather than a binary, one or the other. He explains intersex, he explains the distribution of secondary sexual characteristics, all these things. Really good detail. It's like really well researched. If you want to be able to debate reactionaries or just explain the difference between biological sex and gender to somebody very well, watch this video. It's really great. But it triggered the fuck out of the reactionaries. We're not going to watch the video. It's long, and most of this stuff I already know. You guys can watch it on your own time. There's no reason to watch the video. I'm not going to debunk anything there. There's nothing wrong with it. But the comments are what we're going to read. Now, one of the biggest reasons that I think this video specifically got downvoted so hard in this brigade by reactionaries is that the right-wing conservative mindset is extremely simple. It's very simple. They can't think with much nuance. The world, for them to function, the world has to be as simple as dick means man, vagina means woman. It has to be that simple. If you throw in more nuance, it scares and confuses them. It muddies the water. It makes their rhetoric harder to push, harder to understand. They don't like that. It pisses them off. So, we're going to look at some of these comments. I'm going to debunk them. Now, thankfully, the top comments are pretty okay. But if you sort by newest, you're going to see some pretty dumb shit. Let's see. It's possible does not mean that we should discard definitions or question their validity when you see a spork. Okay, so here's a pretty good one here. It's possible. So this is in, I watched the video already. This is in response to Hank Green, talking about intersex people and how gender is in fact on a spectrum, or not gender, sex is in fact on a spectrum, and just explaining it and how their intersex people exist. They're out there. They exist. He even does a really good explanation for how many of them there are by saying if you took the entire estimated population of intersex people on this planet and put them all into one place, it would have that country that they would form would be in the top 10 most populated countries in the world. That's how many intersex people are estimated to be out there. Enough that if you just put them all in one country, it would be in the top 10 most populated countries in the world. So next time a reactionary says that intersex people are a small, insignificant section of the population, don't let them get away with that shit. That's still a shit ton of people. It's still like an estimated 200 million people. It's a lot. So, this person comments, it's possible does not mean we should discard definitions or question their validity. When you see a spork, a spoon, and a fork, you don't go around saying differences in utensils are arbitrary, spoons and forks are a spectrum. You guys really lost credibility on this one. Ideological drivel this is. No. Now this is somebody who I love doing this. Whenever I see someone comment something really stupid, I like to go to their YouTube channel and see if their subscriptions are public. I want to see... Damn, we can't see it. I really love to see who they're subscribed to if I can. Maybe I'll look at their uploads. Oh god, this guy... What the fuck? This guy looks like he's like... I had no idea what the fuck I'm looking at. Holy shit. Yeah, okay. So this dude's definitely a reactionary. This is probably the worst argument I've seen to this ever. So, when people like this claim that sex is binary, you have man, woman, male, female. A binary means there are two options, and there are no outliers. Binary means two. That is the definition. For sex to be a binary, that would mean that there can be no existent outliers. Intersex people would have to not exist. The simple fact that intersex people exist makes sex not a binary, and rather a bimodal distribution, a spectrum. In the same way, if we want to use this person's spoon and fork analogy, the fact that sporks exists means that eating utensils are not a binary. There aren't just spoons and forks. Sporks exist. They exist. That means that means there isn't just spoons and forks. It's as simple as that. So it's quite ironic that this person says, you guys really lost credibility on this one. Ideological drivel this is. When this is the person who is spewing dribble based behind their ideology. That it's a drivel that is completely non-backed up by science. What else do we got here? Let's see. Weird elections are coming up, and non-factual, non-scientific, and politically motivated gender garbo just happened to make its way onto an otherwise reputable science YouTube channel. Oldest trick in the book. -1 sub. Thanks for years of cool, informative video stuffs, but I've simply had enough. This propaganda. I just cannot support cancer. I do sincerely mean it when I say thank you, and I wish and hope you all the best at SciShow. In before Boomer or whatever gold star you want to label me with. This is actually upsetting to read. This is somebody who respected this channel, took their word for it on a lot of these things. But when something came along that challenged their belief of the world, despite how much this is a 13-minute video, this Hank here backs everything up with like a ton of fucking research, like a ton of, he cites everything. He, like, it's literally insane. He explains everything so in depth. He backs up everything and gives a very in-depth scientific explanation for everything he says. And yet, there are people who will see this that are so entrenched in their belief that they will say, you know what? I can't watch you anymore. The -1 sub. That is how entrenched in their beliefs they are. Well, this was a mistake. I'm going to leave this here so I can come back tomorrow to see this god-awful ratio. Spectrum is clearly an accurate claim. Considering that the population with differences in sexual development is so much smaller than the inverse, it would be more accurate to say bimodal. Well, yes, a bimodal distribution is a spectrum. You know that, right? You know how spectrums work, right? He literally says in the video it's a bimodal distribution. Whew, that's a tough scene. Probably the same 5 guys commenting and disliking with 50... No. Brett. 15,000 dislikes to 22,000 likes. This video has been up for 12 hours. It's by SciShow. There are more than 2 human sexes. This video was really bombed by the reactionaries. Let's see. Here's a good one. The ultimate goal of the elite is to erase elite in quotes. I imagine this guy's a Nazi and probably talking about Jews. Actually, first, let's check. Let's see. Is his subs public? Damn. Oh, yeah, it is. Ooh, right there. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, you love to see it. Oh, I love to be proven right. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah. Yeah, right there, boys. I was right. Yep. God, I love being proven right. Okay, the ultimate goal of the Jews is to erase the distinction between male and female to create an androgynous slave class they can rule over in perpetuity. I'm too tired for this, guys. Population control, perversion of nature, and rejection of God's creation are additional benefits from their perspective. Everyone should reject these destroyers and celebrate the differences between men and women. So, literal Nazis. Alright? So, I think have we read enough comments? It was pretty fun, but I think we've read enough comments, because this comment section is riddled with these people. Riddled with them. Plagued, infested with them. Now, from what I can tell, there's 3 types of people who are commenting on this thread, on this video, commenting negative shit. So we have the Nazis, like that person, the conspiracy theorist Nazis, saying, haha, the Jews are trying to push a degenerate, evil ideology that is trying to muddy the waters between men and women and ruin the separation between men and women and the and traditional family, all the shit that Nazis believe. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know what the Nazis believe. Then you have the boomer tradcons who simply reject science and they want the world to be as simple as men, women, male, female. Holy shit, thank you for the $20 donation. I'm gonna have to read that in a second. Holy fuck, thank you. Yeah, you have those people, and then you have the really misinformed teen Zoomers who have just been taught in high school a very basic understanding of sex, and all they know is XY, XX chromosomes, and the idea, and they watch like anti-SJW videos a lot, so when they hear the term spectrum being used in regards to sex and gender, it's like their trigger word. It sets them off, and they go on a tangent, an anti-SJW tangent. These seem to be the 3 types of people commenting here. Now, thankfully, the crazy Nazis that are literally, like, dropping great replacement shit like that. Like this comment right here. I mean, we looked at this dude's channel. This guy's actually a Nazi. By elite, he means Jews. We saw his sub. This guy is a Nazi. It doesn't seem like there are a lot of these people in the comments. It seems it's more boomers and like Zoomer anti-SJW adjacent people. But I really do love this. I really love this. I'm going to save this in my library of little tidbits in my brain for future debates with reactionaries. Next time a conservative or a Nazi tries to claim the left doesn't care about reality and the left just thinks with their feelings or just feelings over facts, all that shit, I'm going to point to this. I'm going to point to all of the chuds who disliked this video and dropped all these comments in the face of irrefutable scientific consensus. I'm just gonna save that. It's really nice to look at. It's really nice to have your opinions validated every once in a while. It really feels good. Because sometimes, I'll admit, sometimes I start to second guess myself. But when people like this come along and they cement my opinion and make me more confident in my beliefs, it's really nice. So, yeah. I'm going to definitely recommend you guys check out the original video, by the way. It's by SciShow. What's it called? There Are More Than Two Human Sexes. Definitely go watch it. It's only 12 hours old. Amazing video. I learned a lot from it. It's really good.